listening to On the Fly.
What's up, guys? It is Monday morning, the Monday morning drive, bright and early, 7 o'clock a.m. Hope you guys are doing good. Had a good weekend. Mine was spent working all weekend, so this is my this is my day off. Um, yeah, we started doing this last week. We did the Monday and Tuesday drive. Uh, Hopefully, we got some good feedback from it. Hopefully, you guys like it. We're just while you're getting ready to go to work or on your way to work, if you happen to be able to stream this, then great. But a lot to talk about. It is a big change in the weather from last week. I think last week was like 42 degrees when we were doing this. Now it's 60 degrees. Nice weather outside. Going to get outside today and do a do a few things and go get some lunch with my daughter and all that good stuff. Big week, big week coming up. My daughter, she graduates from her college gets her 2 year degree Friday night or Friday. So we are really excited about that. Really proud of her. Way to go, Mallory. Hopefully, she can whatever she takes her next step in. I'm all behind. We all support her. But yeah, Mallory will get her 2 year degree Friday night. So I'm really proud. Big week for me. Um, NFL draft last week. Man, what the NFL it excuse me. It's just amazing that every year this NFL draft gets bigger and bigger. Of course, they had in Detroit this year, and like I said, how many times will you hear Detroit Rock City played by Kiss on the telecast? I heard it at least 3 times, and I watched the first night as much as I can before I fell asleep, and then second night a little bit more, and the third night I saw the last bits of it when I got home from work. But yeah, I heard it 3 times in the little bit that I watched over that 3 days. So no telling how many times. Kiss, Detroit Rock City. That will always be a big link there. But yeah, the draft is over and done with. My Steelers. First of all, I'll get that out of the way. Thought it was one of the best drafts I've ever seen the Steelers get. They filled their needs. 2 offensive linemen with the first 2 picks. Definitely needed. The Frazier kid was one they had talked about a lot. About they wanted to get him, and he fell right into their hands. And then with the first pick, this guy just fell right into Fortanu. Didn't expect. I actually had him going like 13th or 14th, so he falls because of the big quarterback. Uh, the quarterback spell that went. A lot of quarterbacks went. He falls right into our hands, and that was just epic. And then we get a wide receiver, which we need, Roman Wilson from Michigan, who is a good blocking wide receiver, which Pittsburgh loves blocking wide receivers like Hines Ward, who was one of the best to ever play at Pittsburgh. So hopefully he will pan out. Then one guy that I have been talking about for months, and guys, I'm an ECU fan, an ECU football fan. NC State linebacker Peyton Wilson. He's a beast. I mean, a beast. He's all over the place, fast. Everybody talks about, well, he's injury prone. Well, he got injured in high school 4 years ago. So, I mean, and they were like, well, he doesn't have an ACL. Well, guess what? There was a lot of people that didn't play with their ACL. We had 2. Hines Ward was one of them, and he goes on to have a Hall of Fame career. Hopefully, a Hall of Fame career. Should be. But yeah, Peyton Wilson falls right there. I was shocked that he fell that far and fell right to us, but that was one I had been talking about for months. And I was talking about I would be so happy if I saw Peyton Wilson in a Steelers uniform, and I got my wish. So a lot of people grading the draft give the Steelers the highest draft grade. Of course, this is on paper. They have to do it on the field too, because there's a lot. I mean, we could go back and talk about draft bust. And then, first person comes to mind, Jamarcus Russell, who was a sure thing. Tony Mandrich for the Packers, sure things that didn't pan out. So, but these guys are well-known players, but I think the Steelers did a great. Omar Khan just continues to amaze me with, and I don't think he's through yet. I think he's going to get a free agent pickup. They freed up some cap room, and I think they're at like $18-19 million in cap room. So we'll see. Let's go through some of these picks in the draft. Caleb Williams, of course, goes first to the Bears. Jaden Daniels to the Commanders second. Drake May to the Patriots. A lot of Carolina fans not happy about that. I mean, there's not some Carolina fans just look at it like he's in a bad situation with the Patriots, and a lot of people just don't like the Patriots. Marvin Harrison Jr. with the Cardinals. Joe Alt to the Marvin Harrison to the Jr. to the Cardinals. Joe Alt to the Chargers. Malik Neighbors to Matthews Giants. He was happy about that. J.C. Latham really moves up in the draft. The Titans take him at hold on, we got a message here. Latham goes up to Tennessee. I guess when Alt comes off the board, that moved Latham up. Michael Penix Jr. goes to the Falcons. Did you guys see that? I mean, this is a puzzling pick for a lot of people. You just signed Kirk Cousins to major contracts. And yeah, you see my dog in the background. She always comes in here when I do a podcast. Let me see if I can just let you see. And she'll lay down. She'll lay there and listen. My biggest fan right there. But yeah, Kirk Cousins is like just signing for a big deal, and then you draft a quarterback. You didn't draft anything to help Kirk Cousins. Kind of puzzling. And then you see the conversation between the owner and the GM for the Falcons. It was like the GM trying to explain to him what he was doing, Arthur Blank, or the Blank, what he was doing, why he made that pick. So that was kind of strange situation, and a lot of some people understand it. I think the Falcons are trying to go with like what they said, trying to take the Green Bay Packer approach with Jordan Love, drafting him and letting him sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a few years and learn. And I mean, it's worked out for Love so far, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, definitely a different situation there. Rome Odunze goes to the Bears with their second pick. J.J. McCarthy to the Vikings. Kind of knew that was going. Did y'all see McCarthy? He looks so young. Fashanu Fashanu goes to the Jets. Bo Nix, that was a pick of mine. To the Broncos. Brock Bowers. Surprised he fell that far to the Raiders. That's a good pick right there. Talise Fuaga to the Saints. Lyoto Latu to the Colts. Byron Murphy second to the Seahawks. Dallas Turner to the Vikings. Amarius Mims goes to the Bengals. Jared Verse he moves up in the draft to the Rams. Troy Fautanu, like we said, to the Steelers. Chop Robinson goes to the Dolphins. Quinion Mitchell to the Eagles, who they solidified their secondary. Cooper DeJean did not go in the first round, but he fell right to the Eagles in the second round. That secondary is going to be pretty good. Brian Thomas Jr. goes to the Jags. Terry Arnold to the Lions. Jordan Morgan to the Packers. Graham Barton from Duke to the Buccaneers. Darius Robinson to the Cardinals. Xavier Worthy. This was a strange situation because the Chiefs traded with the Bills. Wasn't that right? With the Bills, and got a pick, a wide receiver. You just traded with the team that has kept you out of the Super Bowl so many years in the last 3 or 4 years. and gave them the fastest receiver in the draft. So the Chiefs upload and we're up on that receiving core. Xavier Worthy goes to the Chiefs. Tyler Guyton to the Cowboys. Nate Wiggins to the Ravens. Ricky Pearsall to the 49ers. And the Panthers get to move into the first round and get Xavier Legette with the 32nd pick. They trade with the Chiefs. So, yeah, I'm not surprised at well, I'm surprised what Buffalo trading with the Chiefs because that's kind of a rival. But I mean, what do you do? Buffalo, and with Buffalo needing a receiver, let's go to. I'm going to look at. I'm not going to go through this entire draft, but just looking at some of the second round, some of the pickups that we thought might go in the first round. Ladd McConkey from Georgia, the wide receiver from Georgia, goes to the Chargers. Let's see. The Bills did get with the first pick in the second round, Keon Coleman, the wide receiver from Florida State. Cooper DeJean, like we talked about, from Iowa, goes to the Eagles. Kool-Aid McKinstry goes to the Saints. Jackson Powers Johnson to the Raiders. Let's see. Chris Jenkins Jr. to the Chiefs. Like we said, Zach Frazier to the Steelers. Look and see who catches my eye right here. Kingsley Sumatia to the Chiefs. That was I think a lot of us had him in the first round. Third round, like I said, I'm not going to go through all these guys. I'm just browsing through to see what everybody got. Nothing really. Cooper Beebe goes to the Cowboys. Like I said, Roman Wilson to the Steelers. It's not, nobody really standing. Peyton Wilson to the Steelers. Luke McCaffrey, Christian McCaffrey's younger brother, goes to the Commanders. So the draft was good, guys. Detroit did a great job. I think it's going to Green Bay next year. So, me and Gaddis, if you watched the part one of our mock draft episodes last week on the final score, me and Gaddis were talking about it. I actually saw Gaddis Thursday morning before the draft, and he was talking about his bucket list. One of them was the Super Bowl, and he wanted to cover the Super Bowl as like media. He wanted to be there with media credentials, which it would be freaking awesome. But then another thing was the NFL draft, and with the draft moving around, like maybe coming to Charlotte, who knows? Maybe there's a chance that it'll come to Carolina, and that would be a trip I would definitely be interested in taking. Would be to go to a draft. I forgot how many people they said were there over the weekend, but man, yeah, it's just amazing how far it's come since the days of being in a little office and marking them off on the board. All right, moving on from that. Breaking news this morning. We'll stay with the NFL. Cowboys have signed a running back, and it's a reunion. Ezekiel Elliott just signed with the Cowboys, just made it official this morning. A lot of talk last week about it, but yeah, Ezekiel Elliott is once again a Cowboy. I know Eric Sawyer will be happy. How about them Cowboys, Eric? So NBA playoffs. And guys, I don't cover. I mean, I do that for this show. And we talk a little bit of NBA. And I'm gonna pull this up right now. But did you guys? And I know the Lakers avoid the sweep by the Nuggets, get the win the other night, but after they went down 3-0, the game before that, in Game 3, LeBron's press conference. And this will tell you what the big difference between LeBron and Kobe and Michael Jordan and a lot of these players back from the day is. You go down 3-0 and you're the so-called greatest in the world. And your response is, at the end of the day, it's just basketball. It's just a game. Well, it's supposed to be your job. It's supposed to be your livelihood. I mean, and somebody put a video up talking about the difference between LeBron and Kobe. And LeBron makes that comment down 3-0. And he was like, it's just at the end of the day, it's just about basketball. It's just a game. It's just basketball. That's the same video. They put a clip up. Kobe up 2-0. I mean, he's leading the series 2-0. And they're like, what do you think? He said, job's not over. It's not finished. We haven't won 4 games yet. It's not over. We gotta keep playing. He's not happy. He's focused. And this guy is just, at the end of the day, it's just about basketball. So, I mean, we could do the whole Kobe, LeBron, MJ argument till you blue in the face. You're not going to change my mind about this, guys. I mean, you guys can drink the LeBron Kool-Aid all you want to. And I'm not even – I mean, Jordan is my favorite player all the time, but I'm not even using Jordan as an example a lot of times. I use Kobe. I mean, Kobe was like Jordan. Kobe was cold-blooded. He was an assassin. He was ready to end people. He took it personal for however long he was on the court. He was ready to play. And he was all about winning. And he had that mentality that he could take over a game. LeBron doesn't have that. So looking at this series right now, Orlando and Cleveland, they're tied at 2. Orlando just tied it up that Saturday night. So they should be playing tonight. Oklahoma City, the Thunder. Man, what a surprise they are. The youngest team in the NBA. They're up 3-0 on New Orleans from the Pelicans. They get a blowout win Saturday night. Of course, the Lakers get an 11-point win over the Nuggets. Nuggets still lead that series 3-1. Celtics blow out Miami on Saturday. That was a 20-point win. They lead the series 2-1. The Knicks and the 76ers. Knicks get the win yesterday, 97-92. Knicks lead the series 3-1. What about Joel Embiid playing through a outbreak of Bell's palsy? Is that not? I mean, that's a guy that's got it. I mean, I won't say every player in the NBA doesn't have that mentality, but he's got that mentality. If he's playing through Bell's palsy, an outbreak of Bell's palsy, then he's doing pretty good. He's pretty dedicated. Let's see. Clippers and Dallas. Clippers evened the series at 2 yesterday, 116-111. Timberwolves sweep the Suns. What about the Suns? The Suns were supposed to be, they get all these players, super team, and they get swept in the first round. They were the 6th seed, and they get swept in the first round. Bucks and the Pacers. Milwaukee loses yesterday. They're down 3-1. They're on the verge of elimination. What about Giannis and company? Doc Rivers, what are you guys going to do after the controversial firing of their coach through, wasn't even at the All-Star break? And I still don't understand that. But anyway, today, there's 3 games today: the Celtics and the Heat, the Thunder and the Pelicans, and the Lakers and the Nuggets. That's 10 o'clock tonight. I will not be awake for that. So maybe the Nuggets end it tonight and put LeBron out of his misery. All right, ECU baseball. I'm a big ECU football and baseball fan. They get the 3-game sweep over Memphis this week. I have not seen updated rankings. I know they moved up to 7th last week. And let's see if I can find anything here. I don't know if they've even put out the rankings yet, so it's mighty early for that. Nope, nothing yet. So we'll see. We'll see if they move up this week or not. I know some teams ahead of them last week failed. I'm not sure about this week. I know they are in first place in their conference by themselves now. UTSA had a rough weekend with Rice, so ECU is looking good right now. I hope they keep this up. Maybe they can get to Omaha this year. MLB. The Orioles had a kind of rough weekend with a not so great team. Taking on the A's this weekend, and they lost 2 out of 3 to the A's. I'm like, what the heck? And they were on fire before then. They are 17-10, 2 games back, or a game back of the Yankees, excuse me, who were 19-10. And that AL East is looking like it's going to be a log jam, guys. I mean, you got 6 games separating first to last. And looking at the Braves, let's see. How the Braves looking right now? Braves are 19-7. Looks like they've got the best record in baseball right now. They keep kicking along. 8-2 in their last 10. They are a game and a half over the Phillies. The Phillies are right behind them. So, and that, well, no, that league is not as tight. Who is the tightest? Who's got the tightest league right here? Probably the Central, the National League Central. 4.5 games to separate first and last. So between the Brewers and the Cardinals. So that could be interesting. NASCAR yesterday, Denny Hamlin gets the win in the where were they at yesterday? I caught the tail end of that. Let's see. At Dover, Denny Hamlin holds off Kyle Larson to take his 3rd win of the season. Not a Denny Hamlin fan at all. I think he's embraced his villain role, and that's fine with me. I can't take much of Denny Hamlin. All right, moving on. Let's see. I got everything. Yeah, got everything on the sports side. Moving on to some music and entertainment news. Man, there's a documentary out, and I have not watched it yet. I don't have Hulu. I may subscribe to Hulu just to see what it's all about. But Bon Jovi, and somebody made a comment on social media the other day. Was Bon Jovi a legendary group? And there's no doubt about it. I mean, they have got to be a legendary group. Back in the 80s, from the mid 80s on to the grunge era kicked in. And even after then, they survived the grunge. They were one of the few bands from that era to survive the grunge era and still have popularity. I mean, still have pretty good popularity. They do a documentary. It's a 4-part documentary. I think it's good. What's the name of that thing? Good night. Thank you. 4-part series. I will definitely think about getting Hulu to watch that and maybe canceling after that. I've got so many freaking apps that I'm subscribed to. Richie Sambora, accordingly, which he's put out a new single this week, one called "I Pray." If you guys haven't checked that out, I've got to check that out. He's not too thrilled with how he was portrayed in the documentary. Like I said, I haven't seen it. I can't comment on it. I haven't seen it, but he's not too thrilled with how he's portrayed in that documentary. So we'll see. I got to see this now, and now. So a lot of talk, and I mean, people that have seen the videos or actually been at the concerts John Bon Jovi's got some issues going on with his voice, has for a few years now. And I think he had some vocal cord surgery done. And he had made the comment that if this doesn't work, then we probably won't go back out on tour. But now he's open. He's saying he's open to hologram or avatar tours. So kind of like, ABBA was ABBA no, Ronnie James Dio did a hologram, and then ABBA did the avatar hologram, whatever you want to. Now Kiss has announced they're going to do avatars, and that will be in 2027. That's coming. So asking Bon Jovi whether his group would even consider such a move, he was open-minded. He said, I don't think I'm opposed to anything like it yet. I don't know if the technology's there. I don't mind the idea of images of us being out there for people to go and enjoy. I don't think that's a sin. I don't find that to be at all a turnoff. Regardless of whether Bon Jovi ever uses avatars or any other kind of performance technology, the singer's confident his band's music will endure long after he's done performing. Those songs live on, and people are going to always sing them in karaoke, and they're going to sing them in a bar, and they're going to sing them on top of their lungs at the radio. And of course, they're gearing up for the release of their 16th studio album, and I would guess, and I mean, I'm not being pessimistic, but probably their last, called Forever. It's due out June 7th. And he said this record is a return to joy from the writing through the recording process. This is to turn up the volume, feel good Bon Jovi. And guys, I hope so, because that last one, 2020, was depressing. I'm not listening to a Bon Jovi record to make me feel like, oh, there's death and there's stuff like this. If I want to do that, I'll listen to some of this other crappy music that's all they talk about. Bon Jovi songs, Bon Jovi music is supposed to be feel-good music that gets you pumped up, not this crap that he had on 2020. And I'll say that to anybody. That album was trash. It was hard to listen to. I was disappointed. It's kind of like he was trying to be Bruce Springsteen, and it didn't work. So, yeah, stay away from that. I hope this album is different than what that last one was. Oh, there was not a song on that album that I felt good about. So, all right. So now we're going to talk about some rock stars who toured in 1984 and are touring this year again in 2024. If you want to see this article is up on Ultimate Classic Rock, who I get most of my music, hard rock music from, news from. AC/DC. They were on the road in 84. They joined the Monsters of Rock Festival for 10 late summer dates for the Flick of the Switch album. And now they're going to return to Europe for their first tour in 8 years. AC/DC still getting it done. Aerosmith. This is kind of catchy. Aerosmith was, of course, doing they reunited in 84, the Back in the Saddle kind of reunion tour. And now they're doing their, of course, they were forced to postpone a lot of shows from this tour because of Steven Tyler's vocal cords. After just 3 shows, he had to take some time off. They're supposed to hit the road again this fall, and probably going to be it. The Beach Boys. Back in 84, they were dealing with so much turmoil. Brian Wilson living in exile because of his health and addiction issues. Dennis Wilson drowned after his substance abuse battle. But they did 130 shows in 1984. 40 years later, the group's touring lineup, led by Mike Love and Bruce Johnson, has another busy tour schedule planned for 2024. That should be interesting there. I remember they were at the Olympics. Remember that? The kick off the Olympics. Let's see who else is up here. No way. Blue Oyster Cult. You listen to Blue Oyster Cult, not me. 1984, they were dealing with changes in '84, and they kicked off their 2024 tour by releasing their first new album in 4 years, Ghost Stories. 57th consecutive year of touring in 2024. Wow. And let's see. Cheap Trick, 1983. They were supporting their 1983 album, Next Position Please. They spent much of 84 on the road listen to this. Wow. They had some diverse bands they were on tour with. Rat, 38 Special, and then Till Tuesday. Remember Till Tuesday? Voices Carry. Yeah. Now, this year, they'll spend most of 2024 with a reunited Heart, who we talked about last week on the Royal Flush Tour. Eric Clapton. He finished up in '84 the 11 dates of his tour in support of 1983's Money and Cigarettes. And now he's got about 24 shows planned in 2024 with the UK tour kicking off May 9th. Only 3 American shows have been announced, San Diego, Palm Desert, and the Hollywood Bowl in Los Angeles. So not coming to the East Coast. Elvis Costello. His 84 tour, he was treating fans to a preview of the upcoming Goodbye Cruel World. He sang The Only Flame in Town there. 40 years later, Daryl Hall and Costello teaming up for a tour that kicks off June 2nd in Troutdale, Oregon. Deep Purple, which lineup is this? 1984, they released the hit album Perfect Strangers and launched a massive and highly successful tour. And now they're gonna they'll release a new album named Equal One in July, launch a North American tour with Yes. And August. Was Yes on tour in '84? Def Leppard. They went on tour after the big release of Power Mania, 188-date world tour that concluded with 7 '84 dates in Japan, Australia, and Thailand. In July 2024, they'll launch a stadium tour alongside Journey with support on select dates from Heart, Cheap Trick, and the Steve Miller Band. That should be interesting there. Bob Dylan, oh boy. He was on tour in '84, touring Europe alongside Santana, and now he's already played 24 dates so far this year, and will join Willie Nelson's Outlaw Music Festival tour this summer, along with John Mellencamp, Robert Plant, and Alison Krauss. Sammy Hagar. He was on the VOA tour in '84. 89 date headline tour that kicked off September 1st in Portland. Soon after that, he joined Van Halen. He's going to do on the Best of All Worlds tour with Joe Satriani and Michael Anthony this year. So that should be interesting. Heart, '84, they were doing a tour, finishing up a tour for supporting the Passion Works album, and now, like we said, they've got a new version of the band of spending summer of 2024 on the Royal Flush tour with Cheap Trick. Joan Jett, the Blackhearts, they had, they couldn't match I Love Rock and Roll album with this, but they were on tour supporting that, a tour that was split between '84 and '85. And this year she will join Alanis Morissette and country singer Morgan Wade on the Triple Moon Tour, which kicks off June 9th in Phoenix. Billy Joel. Yeah, we all know the controversy about Billy Joel, about the other night on the CBS tour, CBS show that got cut short, which they did re-air it. He was on tour supporting Innocent Man. And now he's doing his MSG residency, and he's going to share the bill at stadium shows across the country with Stevie Nicks, Sting, and Rod Stewart. That should be Judas Priest. They were on tour in '84 doing support Defenders of the Faith. 40 years later, they are back and they're doing a headliner tour supporting the Invincible Shield album, which I'm not a big Judas Priest fan, guys, but that was a pretty good album. I was impressed at this time of their career to do an album like that. That was pretty good. Kansas, they had some members leaving the band in 1983. They were doing some shows in support of Drastic Measures, and then they did a whole new lineup in 1986. And now the band has extended last year's 50th anniversary tour into 2024 with concluding December 11th in Pittsburgh. So they're not hanging it up yet. Metallica, they were on. They were supporting Ride the Lightning in 1984. 24 shows before and after that album's release in June. 40 years later, they launched the second year of the ambitious 2 nights in every city 72 Seasons tour on May 24th in Munich, Germany. Wow. Night Ranger, one of my favorites. Of course, Night Ranger in '84 had probably the biggest year of their career. Sister Christian comes out. They're doing the Midnight Madness album. 110 shows in support of that album. They're going to be on the road 2024 doing their extended celebration of their 40th anniversary tour. That's hard to believe. That's been 40 years with Night Ranger. Seems like it's more than that, though. They put out some albums before that. But anyway, who am I to talk about that? Robert Plant, he played the last 19 shows in support of his Principle of Moments album and didn't do a single Led Zeppelin song, and didn't for a while. But now like we said, he'll spend the summer 2024 in the Willie Nelson Outlaw Music Festival with his partner at the moment, Alison Krauss. Pretenders, they were supporting Learning to Crawl. Back on the Chain Gang was their song back then. Much of 2024, they'll go in support of their latest album, Relentless, headlining and as a support act for the Foo Fighters of all people. That's pretty cool. Queen decided not to tour Americans for their new album because of negative reaction to their 1984 video, I Want to Break Free, but they played nearly 50 shows in England, Europe, Australia, and Japan in support of their album. And now with Adam Lambert, the 2024 tour schedule, not a big one, only 5-date tour Japan so far. I didn't realize Lambert had been with Queen since 2011. Wow. Red Hot Chili Peppers, they would support their debut album in '84. 73 dates across the country. And now they're going to firmly establish as one of the biggest concert draws in the world. I don't know about that. The band will kick off a summer 2024 tour on May 28th in Ridgefield, Washington. Isn't it nice, though, guys, to hear all these bands are going to, all the concerts, summer concerts coming around. COVID, you never thought you'd see it again during that COVID year. REO Speedwagon, another favorite of mine. They were supporting their Wheels of Turning album in November '84. That had Can't Fight This Feeling. 143 date tours, which the first 24 stat were in the winter of '84. Now they're going to team up with Train for a summer 2024 tour that kicks off July 8th in Somerset, Wisconsin. The groups promoted the tour by performing a mashup of their respective hits, Keep On Loving You and Drops of Jupiter on Jimmy Kimmel Live. I'll have to check that. I haven't seen that. That sounds pretty cool. Let's see. Scorpions. They were doing the '84 tour supporting Love at First Sting, 160 concerts all over the world, and now they're doing a Love at First Sting Las Vegas residency this year. Wow. And I'm not going to go through every one of these because some of them we talked about. Yes, I was pretty sure they had ZZ Top. They would support Eliminator. They completed a 151-date world tour, and now they'll spend much of 2024 headlining their own Elevation tour or sharing the stage with Leonard Skinner on the perfectly named Sharp Dressed Simple Man tour. I like that play on words with both bands. So that's going to do it for that. Moving on, Motley Crue. Motley Crue released a new single last week, Friday, Dogs of War. And, I'm hearing from a lot of Motley Crue fans, a lot of rock fans, they don't like it. Some are saying they like it, but it's not Motley Crue sound. Which I don't think they want to sound like this. Of course, this is their first single without Mick Mars, with John 5, and it sounds eerie. It's a very eerie sound, and there's a lot of talk that they're using AI to record this. They signed a deal with Big Machine Records, which, what is that? But I guess I've listened to it a couple of times, and I'm kind of torn on it. There's parts of it I like, parts of it I don't like. It's okay. My nephew, who is a big Motley Crue fan, said it just doesn't sound like old school Motley Crue. And Vince Neil's told Billboard, we want to keep putting out new music so we don't get stagnant. We recorded You Gotta Fight for Your Right to Party by the Beastie Boys, and recorded this song too, and I thought it turned out pretty good. Has anybody heard that? I have not heard that. I don't know if that's going to be released or what. There'll definitely be new music out next year for sure, because we recorded a couple other songs too. Maybe we'll release one of those by the end of the year, but I can't say. But we want to keep putting out new music, not maybe an album, but a few songs here, a few songs there, and that's good. He describes Dogs of War, which was held by Motley Crue's longtime producer Bob Rock. It's like old school meets new school. It's got that old school vibe about it, but it's new music. Nikki came up with it and sent me the music, and I thought it was really cool. So I started singing it. We got in the studio and turned into the song. I think the fans are really going to like it. Their new deal with Big Machine Records sees the band working together again after making the 2014 project Nashville Outlets, a tribute to Motley Crue, which featured Crue tracks covered by country stars Rascal Flatts, Florida Georgia Line, Darius Rucker, and more. Big Machine also partnered with Motley Crue guitarist John 5 for the release of his 2021 album, Sinner. So, I don't know. I'll see. I'll listen to it some more and see. But the consensus right now, from what I'm hearing, is not good. A lot of Crue fans are not happy with this. On this day in music, let's go back in time. Tupac marries Keisha Morris in 1995 inside the Clinton Correctional Facility, where Shakur is serving a 4.5-year jail term for sexual assault. Let's see, Leonard Skinner released the album on this day in 1997, 20, which is titled after the fact that it's been released 20 years after the plane crash that claimed the lives of 3 band members. It's their 9th studio album. Let's see, on this day in 1998, while performing Mama Ken at a show in Anchorage, Alaska, Steven Tyler of Aerosmith loses control of his microphone stand, hits him in the leg, he falls, tears his ACL. This forced the band to postpone the rest of the tour while he recovers from surgery. Let's see. Following his reunion in 1999, following his reunion with Pamela Anderson Lee, Tommy Lee quits Motley Crue. How ironic we talk about that now. He quits Motley Crue to devote time to his new band, Methods of Mayhem, and his family. Well, that didn't work out too well. Let's see, looking up. Paula Abdul on this day in 1992 marries Emilio Estevez in what at the time is an A-list union. Yeah, it was at the time. The marriage only lasts 2 years though. There's a lot of stories about that. On this day in 1980, Black Sabbath launched their first tour with Ronnie James Dio as the lead vocalist, replacing Ozzy Osbourne. Willie Nelson, we got to throw out a birthday shout out to Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson is 91 years old today. 91. That's amazing. And he's still getting out there trying to do it. Hats off to Willie Nelson. Let's see. Metallica's album on this day in 2023. Metallica's album 72 Season debuts at number 2 by Morgan Wallen's One Thing at a Time. It's in its seventh week at the top. It's the first album since And Justice for All in 1998. It's the first Metallica album since And Justice for All in 1998, that doesn't debut at number 1. Let's see. On this day in 2016, Jimmy Fallon and Paul Rudd do a shot-for-shot remake of the 6 video for Too Much Time on My Hands. That was freaking hilarious. Let's see what else we got here? I'm not going through all this, guys. I'm scanning through what I think you guys will like. Not much. Oh, on this day, 1970, rapper Master P is born. Percy Robert Miller in New Orleans, Louisiana. Happy birthday to Master P. 1968, Carney Wilson of Wilson Phillips, is born in Bel Air, California, to Brian Wilson, his first wife, Marilyn Rovell. Happy birthday to Carney Wilson Phillips. Say what you want to. I like their song. I like their songs. Some of them. Not much else up here, guys. Duke Ellington, born on this day in 1899. That's pretty much it. All right, album challenge. So the ones I'm listening to right now. Dolly Parton's Rockstar album, which is a deluxe version. I didn't know that. 39 songs. I mean, she's got a little bit of everything up here. It's pretty much an album of mostly cover songs. She does Wrecking Ball with Miley Cyrus. Keep on Loving You with Kevin Cronin from REO Speedwagon. I Hate Myself for Loving You with Joan Jett. I have not got to the Judas Priest song with Rob Halford with Bygones. Elton John, Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. Heart of Glass with Deborah Harry. Let's see. Baby, I Love Your Way with Peter Frampton on it. Magic Man with Ann Wilson. Listen to Chris Young, Young Love and Saturday Nights. LA Guns, self-titled album. And Justin Moore, Outlaws Like Me. I finished up Kenny Rogers, Love Will Turn You Around. Chris Tomlin, Arriving. Luke Grimes, and Cher, Heart of Stone. Looking for some suggestions. If you guys have any suggestions on the album I need to listen to. Of course, I have not hit the Taylor Swift album yet. The Taylor Swift album causing some controversy, which it's probably just made it even better for her. I mean, I don't think it's hurting her at all, for sure. So, that does it for the album challenge. I'm looking for new music to listen to, guys. Anytime you want to give me a shout out or send me an email to the Final Score Entertainment at gmail.com. That's the Final Score Entertainment at gmail.com. Or you can just catch me on my social medias on Twitter, or if you call it X, whatever you want to call it, on Facebook as well. All right, so podcast. Last week we did our Ozzy Osbourne Bark at the Moon episode, which came out last week. Got some good response from that. Next up is going to be, we're not going to let the cat out of the bag yet. What it is, I'm trying to work out with Joe when we can do that. And Wednesday night's going to be a busy night. Final Score, we'll do our weekly episode. Of course, we'll recap the draft. And hopefully we got a special guest coming on to kind of help me with the tag team of Matthew and Eric with the LeBron Jordan discussion. I'll put it that way. Hopefully, we'll have a special guest from another podcast on. I'm hoping he's going to come on. But Wednesday night, also, after we finish the Final Score episode, that night we'll have a past guest. She's coming back on the show to talk about her new single. Is Miss Annie Vander. She's going to talk about her new single, "Rockin' My Shoe," with Annie and her husband Brian. Brian's got new music coming out. Hopefully, we'll get Brian on the show soon. We need to. Hopefully that'll happen soon. But Annie is a great lady and just a good friend of mine, and can't wait to talk about this new single. And you guys go check it out. Check out Annie's stuff. Give her a follow on social medias, Spotify, Apple, wherever you stream your music at. Give her a follow and check out her music up there. She does a great job. All right, guys, I've got to do one last thing before we get out of here. It's almost 8:00, and but we didn't really talk about birthdays today, and I'll see who we got. I know Kelly Van celebrating a birthday today, a good friend of mine. I had the pleasure of coaching her two sons for a long time, for about the last 6 years. So, Kelly, hope you have a happy birthday today. Let's see who else. I think that's it. But since we won't be on Wednesday, Leanne Barnes Howard, happy birthday to you. Since we won't be on Wednesday, I'm going to throw a shout out to my big brother, to Randy Fly. He is celebrating his birthday May the 1st. Like I said, in a couple of days, it's going to be May. But yeah, Randy, love you, buddy. Hope you have a great birthday. I know you'll be at work with me, so sorry you couldn't have your birthday off. But anyway, yeah, he will be 55. Wow, he's old. But anyway, that's going to do it for your Monday morning drive, guys. Thank you for everybody that was listening out there. You guys in Twitter or X, give me a comment sometimes up here. Give me a question or give me a comment or something out there. I love to hear your comments up here. You guys make sure you check us out. Check out our podcast. We just did our WrestleMania 40 recap on the Triple Threat main event, and we got something planned. Of course, Backlash coming up this week for WWE. So, but me and Pinocchio, the Hitman from Down Under, we already have our next episode planned out. So you guys be sure to tune into that. If you follow On the Fly, you'll get your episodes of the Triple Threat main event. That's all apart. And I've thought about putting the Final Score and On the Fly and the Triple Threat main event all together on the same podcast, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that. Probably would be the best situation. Probably be easier, but I don't want to give up one of the. I don't want to give up the On the Fly or I don't want to give up the Final Score either. Anyway, you guys have a great rest of your Monday. I hope that if you're working, I hope your work day goes quick and smooth. And we'll see you next time on the Monday morning drive. Probably see you later this week. Probably might be Friday. We might have a Friday morning drive, and maybe it'll be to kick off the weekend. But you guys have a great rest of your day and a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time on the Monday morning drive.